the witch. Anyway.
The Wick of the Witch.
The Wick of the Witch.
Wick of the Witch.
The Wick of the Witch. The Wick of the Witch.
The Wick of the Witch.
You guys, I have been looking forward to this for a week and a half.
Finally, honey.
Finally.
We're here to speak the truth. The definitive Wicked Part 1
This is the definitive Gladiator 2 tell-all podcast.
So
we're here to
this
talk
is
about
the Moana 2 Truthers
Moana
podcast.
2.
I would say, listeners, if you have not seen Wicked Part 1 yet, just don't listen
Get
to
in
this
the
episode.
Car. Go
Because
see it.
Right now. Go.
Because I would say, like, oh, we'll skip ahead, but we're just going to keep coming back to it. Like, it is inevitable.
For the
that
rest of
for the rest of
our
the year.
life.
The year. I mean, we're in intermission for the next year.
Yeah.
You
This
guys,
is a long intermission.
it's the longest intermission. You guys, it's such a funny joke. So the boys finally saw Wicked. Casey and I have now seen it twice.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I'm seeing it twice on I'm seeing it for the second time on Saturday.
He's seeing it 2 times in a row.
Sorry, I'm seeing it another time on Saturday. I am not seeing it 2 times. Well,
I
don't know.
RJ's gone the whole day, so
I would see it twice in one day.
And you know what?
Sitting.
Casey,
And we will.
I don't know why you've never talked about Alamo Drafthouse before, because we went for the first time, and I don't know why you
never brought it up.
Because it was great.
You've never once mentioned it on this.
Never
podcast.
once have talked about it.
I couldn't eat more than, I think, 5 handfuls of popcorn because it was so buttery. I felt like my insides were...
Miranda, if you don't know,
Stop.
the Alamo Drafthouse
uses clarified
they use
butter.
clarified butter and they toss the popcorn.
And they toss the popcorn, and it's unlimited.
Oh,
It's served in a
metal tin.
It's served in a metal
metal
mixing bowl.
Yeah.
I felt like a king.
If we always say light butter, because even when you say light butter, they put that butter in her good. And if you know it's
I don't know. I don't know about that sentence.
you got too much butter whenever the popcorn is stuck to the bottom of the bowl with the butter in it. And that's when you know you fucked up, and you're gonna regret it later once you get out of that movie theater. It's gonna slide right out of you, babe. I'll just say that.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to
That's
the pod.
like the Oleato olive oil lattes. They just slip and slide right out.
The old chips, the
grease,
the skinny
grease
chips
snaps.
from the 90s.
Oh. Miranda wants to barf.
I too had popcorn this week, but it was not. It was my unlimited popcorn at Disney on Ice. So different butter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different butter. Lots of salt.
If any.
From that
Lots
machine.
of salt.
Yeah,
I don't even know how they make it. They just bring you 2 baskets, and it's unlimited. So they'll like come by and refill it however. So
okay, well, how do we start this? Do we just go around the room?
Let's see.
The film opens on a shot of a hat.
Act 1,
Scene
Song
1.
1.
So here's what we can't do. We can't go too in depth. We have to do a medium in depth because we have to save me and RJ's real takes for Showgaze.
Oh, that's right. We are doing an official Wicked deep dive.
But we can obviously talk about it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna
also
spend
like
3 hours talking about that.
I don't think we can go so far in for anybody who's never actually seen Wicked. Because part 2 is obviously not out there. And you can say, as I've learned last night talking to Jace after the movie, you can spoil a lot just by, you know what I mean?
Just by saying Fiero.
I said it. Was Jace
Guys,
like,
spoiler alert.
You have to bleep it. Bleep.
Really? I'm sorry. Like,
well, okay, this was
there's truly only one. I think there's only one thing you cannot spoil.
Yes.
There is one thing that should not be spoiled that happens at the very end of Wicked the musical.
oh no,
Honk.
RJ.
Jesus Christ!
I'll believe that too.
RJ.
That's the only thing I feel like you shouldn't spoil. Everything
For
else
sure.
is kind of obvious. Although here. Okay, I'm
Don't
gonna
bring
take
it-
this.
no,
I know
don't
I'm
be
gonna
so
take this for
loud.
myself. I don't care.
But the thing is, you are already very loud. Here's the thing about
Yes.
when
Just
you
lean
say
in.
is too obvious. Okay, I'm saying spoilers, people.
Okay.
It is not too obvious because Jace, last night when we saw the film,
Mhm.
he got mad when I was like, oh, wasn't that like the metaphors about being a scarecrow in Dancing Through Life? Jace got mad and he goes, well, is like Bach the Cowardly Lion?
No, Miranda,
I go,
have to.
what?
Miranda, we have to have a conversation about the conversation that RJ and I had 2 nights ago.
Was
where
it the
he wa-
same?
he-
Was it the same?
RJ has seen this on Broadway. RJ has not on Broadway.
Dr. Phillips performance.
As a
I've,
deep
I've
dive.
never seen it on Broadway, but I've seen it in Chicago 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're just as talented. They're just as good. Anyway.
They're just as talented. It's fine. So RJ goes, who's the lion? And I said, RJ, what happened in the movie? And he said, she sang Defying Gravity. And I said,
that is what happened.
before that. And he
That
said they
is-
went to the Emerald City. And I said,
Yeah.
before that. And he said she sang Popular. And I said, after that. And he was like, what happens at that? And I was like, what happens in the classroom? And he was like, oh, the little cub. I was like,
Oh
yes,
my God.
the
Yes.
only lion that has been in the film will come back, shockingly.
You
I
guys
know
are-
it's a huge surprise.
Yeah,
The
Jace
lion
was
will
like,
return.
I was like, they don't.
The lion will
What's
return.
happening in Oz is not humans are turning into animals. That's not what's happening in Oz.
No, it's very clear that that's not what's happening.
And I was like, honestly, think of Zootopia and how the animals in Zootopia were turning from like personified animals
Not
to
using
then.
Zootopia as a reference.
Well, everything
Yes.
goes back to
Everything
Zootopia.
comes back
Everything
to
goes
Judaism.
back to Zootopia.
Everything goes back to the top 2 Disney film of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
According to
or-
Shanghai.
According to-
Zootopia and Moana
Shanghai?
2, the two
two
greatest
top.
films of all time.
Well, I saw on TikTok
Ever
today, someone
made.
did a photo. Someone did a photo post, and it said that Pafani was gonna be the scarecrow. So I don't know, you guys. I think they're gonna change.
I think they're going
the
to change
movie.
they might. Because there are
Listen,
things that happen
I
in
would-
Act 2 that cannot happen in the film
Why?
because of the actors playing those roles.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know if she might be able to also. She might be
cannot. They said
she
she
can at
cannot.
all. So what are they going to do?
I don't know. And also, I
CGI?
say
I don't
she
know.
cannot. I have not heard from her mouth. She cannot. I have heard. So
okay.
But I'm not. I'm like 75%. I do not believe she can. So take with that what you will.
Interesting.
Okay. Overall, what did we think of the film? Like as like
Gorgeous.
your moviegoer people.
Love
I mean,
Pink.
I think,
honestly,
Miranda, you have seen more movies in theaters than RJ and I
Love
have
Pink.
this year.
Yeah,
I
this-
watched Inside Out 2 on the plane. We can talk about that.
Oh, let's
I
talk
did
about
watch
that.
Inside Out too.
Yeah.
Casey, as a moviegoer, like how would you rank
Yeah, there you
it?
go.
yeah, how does
Casey.
this compare?
How does
to
this
all
compare
of the movies?
that you've seen like this year?
Rank every film you've ever watched and put
Okay.
Wicked in there.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
substance number 1. Wicked. Jeez. Wicked is no substance.
Wicked is no
I will just say,
substance.
I will say the 2 hours and 40 minutes flew by. Just and I don't say that like stupidly or I really do think that like it is paced so well that you're never like thinking like, is this ever gonna end? Like, you know,
Mhm.
she's paced well, she's beautiful and then I think just seeing it again, it's just like you have a moment to just like bask in things that you didn't really think about before, like seeing it again whenever Galinda comes in on her little boat to go to school. I'm like, this is Rose getting on the Titanic
Mhm.
with her big hat. Like they pan to her and she's
Oh,
got
absolutely.
And as she's coming in, I'm like, this is the culture's new Rose. Like, this is our
This is Rose.
2020 Titanic Rose moment.
Yeah.
Like,
And
people
she
are gonna.
survives.
Yeah, she survives as far as we know. But
Unless listen, they could change it.
they
They
could
could
Maybe
change
she's
change
a
it.
ghost during No One Mourns the Wicked.
I was so very pleased they did not add any full songs. I know they added like portions of songs.
Right.
But I was glad they didn't add any new songs. I was glad it was just like straight.
You've heard they're adding 2 for
I did
part
hear
2.
in part 2 they are adding 2, and do we know where? Do you know?
No, they haven't said.
Okay.
They just said they're adding 2. I would assume each girl is going to get another song.
Okay.
Each of the girls.
Even Nessa?
Nessa?
God, I wish. Nessa has the best song. I can't wait for Act 2.
Nessa?
I can't wait for part 2.
Yeah, so that's it. I never like it when they add songs to already existing shows.
I usually don't either. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. The Lion King is the only one.
Because it was Beyonce.
No, not the film. Spirit. That was an end. I don't mind an end credit moment. Wait, no, Spirit was in the film.
No, it was in the middle.
It was
of the
in
film.
the film.
It was the
That's
poop,
right. When the dung beetle,
story.
the rolling of the poop.
Yeah.
No, I'm the Broadway show. But it was so close to like the film. Like Frozen's were awful. Mary Poppins,
all of them are
hit or miss for me, honestly. Little Mermaid, not so much. So I'm intrigued as to what they'll do for part 2.
The problem with the ones they add for movies is usually it just feels like they're adding a song just so they can get nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, because they need an original song.
So as long as it avoids that, and it sounds like the same time period that the other songs were written.
Yeah.
These songs have because of the synth, they have like a very late 90s, early 2000s sound to them of what was going on, like pop music, like through the lens of musical theater. Obviously, they still sound like that time to me. So as long as they still sound like every other song in this, then I will be fine. But sometimes, like I hated all the songs they added for Beauty and the Beast, the film, the live action version, because it felt like they were different songs.
Yes.
Now, granted, the lyricist literally is not living anymore. So it was going to be different no matter what, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was my example of a really bad
Well, luckily Steven Schwartz still kicking. He is. He can compose.
As we know, because he was in the film.
Yeah.
He was.
Who was he? What was
he
his
was
cameo?
the one who says the wizard will see you now.
The wizard will see you now.
Here are the cameos. Again, we spoiled.
Well, he goes, the wizard will see you now.
Well, and then I learned today on TikTok through the many
I saw this too.
Yes,
I saw this too.
That Ariana was looking through the script and the line "The wizard will see you now" was not there. It was the line from The Wizard of Oz.
Who rang the door?
Who rang the door or something like that.
Yeah.
And Ariana like called up first of all Cynthia to be like, "Did you see it's not in there?" And then called up John to be like, "You have to add that in."
Referring to. Oh.
Yeah. So in One Short Day, there are a lot of cameos, I believe. Like we see some, I think like Elphaba's mother is a past Elphaba. I think Glinda's mother was a past Glinda. Like things like that.
Stephanie J. Block.
Stephanie J. Block is in No One Mourns the Wicked.
And then in One Short Day, you see Winnie, who wrote the book of the musical. She's the one during
Holtzman.
Winnie,
your dog,
and Winnie
the dog.
She was there. She says, "He can read it. He must be a wizard."
Yes, that's what she says. That's what Winnie.
So that's Winnie. She wrote the book of the musical. When they go and give the invitation to go see the wizard, that is Gregory Maguire, who wrote the Book of Wicked.
Oh, that was
And then when he then looks at Steven Schwartz, and Steven Schwartz says, "The wizard will see you now." But obviously the two biggest cameos that were ruined for me before I saw the film were
How?
Adina and
Wow.
Kristen because they released the soundtrack, and on the soundtrack,
Oh, they're
on
credits.
One
You
More
listened to
Day,
it
they are.
early?
No, I just saw
Oh,
it.
they're credited.
Yeah,
Literally
the
just
Oh, I see, I
credited.
see,
posted
I
it.
see.
I would never have listened to it early, but they are credited, and I was like, that's garbage. Because also the person who's singing in No One Mourns the Wicked, Elphaba's baby daddy, or
Mm.
her father, they are also credited on the soundtrack. So if everybody's like, I wonder who that was.
Yeah, I saw people getting mad about that, but I don't think that can't be. That's so obvious. That
Jace
feels like that's.
Jace does not know.
There's one character in this whole thing who likes green enough that he made a city about it. I mean, let's like put 2 and 2 together, darling dear.
I know.
Oh.
But the biggest ones were Adina and Kristen. Obviously, they were
Adele
Adele
Dazeem.
Dazeem
Adele
Dazeem.
Dazeem.
and Kristen
Not only
Bell.
did
Yeah.
they sang a new part of One Short Day, but then they also got to sing an actual part of One Short Day, which I thought was cute. But I thought it would be fun there's this thing going around the internet, I don't know if you've seen it, where people say we listen and we don't judge. And so everybody will like say a statement and you have to listen to them and you cannot fight them. Maybe we can a little. But it's basically like we're going to say our controversial statement about Wicked, how we like one thing we felt maybe different.
Are you
Are
starting?
you setting this up because you have a controversial take on
I
Wicked?
do. I have a
I think if this is the lead-in, I think we are about to have the exact same take, Miranda.
Really?
If this is how you set this up, I'm not kidding. I think we are about to have the same take.
Okay, well, we will see.
Well, we'll just excuse Casey and I then, girly.
First of
we'll
all,
say it first. Let's say it first.
I loved the film. I thought it was wonderful.
Loved Wicked.
It was so well done. Like
Wicked.
loved Wicked. It was great.
We listen and we don't
judge.
Adina and Kristen's cameo was too camp. It was too camp
Miranda,
for
mine
me.
is Adina and Kristen. It was an overindulgent cameo.
It was an overindulgent cameo. They leaned so far in. It was too much of a bit. It took me so far out of this film.
Yes.
So I was so far removed at that point. Like, granted, it was like really lovely to see them, but the bit was too much. It was too much.
It goes on for so long.
It goes on for so long. Like, I feel like they could have just done the who's say. They could have just done that part and been great. I feel like they should have found at least like another past Glinda, maybe like, I don't even, like a current Elphaba and Glinda on Broadway.
Megan Hilt.
A Megan Hilt moment.
Where's Shoshone? Shoshone.
She's making her way around these days.
Where's Eden Espinosa?
Where's Jessica? Bring her in.
Where's the one that was on
Orphan?
the Glee project? Was she an Elphaba?
Yeah, she was. She was also in Titanic. She was Janice in Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
What's her name?
It is, oh God.
Adele Dazeem.
No, I forget her name. What is her name?
I'm looking up Glee Project Elphaba. Lindsay Pierce.
Lindsay, yes.
Lindsay Pierce.
Lindsay.
I think, yeah. So, yeah, the Elphaba, Celine Dion, Janice, Mean Girls pipeline. She's a triangle. They're
I
all
was
just
about to say
going.
the Elphaba to Celine for sure.
Yeah.
Is there.
Because then now the current Elphaba on Broadway was also Janice in the Mean Girls tour. So it's just she's just making her way. But yeah, it really brought me out of it for sure.
Okay.
So
we listen and we don't
judge.
I will say that
do you have one, Casey?
Well, I was gonna not judge add on to. Even Joe was like, man, they really hit you over the head with the like knowing that those two were in Wicked.
Are them.
Yeah, because like Joe doesn't know this shit.
Right.
Sure.
He was like,
he's a man.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, they really hit you over the head with it.
Yeah.
I gotta think of mine. Y'all go.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Do you have one?
I already said mine.
I think you had another one, Adam.
No, that was the one I was gonna say.
Okay.
If that's my biggest criticism of that film. I mean, my other one is like, I don't need Jeff Goldblum to do a
dancing.
shadow dance.
Yeah.
That's clearly like not Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I was like,
Not
it's
you.
like, did they just do that so that they could get someone else to do it?
Someone in the back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jeff. Hey, I'm the
I
wizard.
mean, it's
Hey.
metaphorically it makes sense because it's like he's still it's still him operate. It's like
He's still
all
making an illusion. Yeah,
Sure.
he's still like
Yeah.
fooling you.
So it's like smart. It's like clever choreographically story wise.
That's what I thought.
At that point, that was the only part. Actually, the last not the last necessarily like 10, 15 minutes when you get into the whole defying gravity section, but like the 15 minutes probably before that. It was then I was like, okay, I feel we are over 2 hours for sure. I do
There
feel
it is.
the run time.
When you get a sentimental man, you're like, already.
I actually felt it during Popular, not the runtime necessarily, but Popular is so dragged out.
Yeah.
And it's very
Yeah.
fun, and
Yes.
Ariana does such a good job with it.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow. Because the thing I think that's cool, that's really successful about this film is like, because they wanted to make money, and let's just be honest, that is the main reason that they
That's
split this
why.
into 2 films. There are obvious story reasons as to why they needed more time to make Act 2 hit better, and that's fine as well, and that's an added
Right.
bonus. But that is really what it is at the end of the day. I think it's very cool to feel each beat of the song that you normally in a movie musical don't get, because most movie musicals are just going to do it exactly. If it's based on a Broadway thing, it's just going to do it exactly as the Broadway version did it, the song necessarily. So it was cool to be like, to slow
certain songs,
certain stuff down. I think it
Yeah.
really works. I think the best it works is probably Dancing Through Life during the Ozdas Ballroom sequence, which goes by so fast on stage that it really doesn't hit emotionally the same way.
No, and then you're like seeing it and you're like, oh, that's what that was supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to portray.
And then
got it.
I actually thought like the way everything just like took a breath for I'm Not That Girl. It was the first time I'd ever been like, oh, this song is good.
Bitch, I love that song.
I love that song.
I love
and
that
you know
song.
what you know what Baby gave us? She gave us riffs in I'm Not That Girl that were
Yes.
not
she
there
did.
before. Nobody has
Honey.
ever done riffs in I'm Not That Girl. And Baby said,
I'm not that girl.
Can't wait for Ariana to have to hit that note in the next movie.
low, baby, low.
Okay, we listen.
We listen and we don't
judge.
Maybe it was because of all the mess with Ariana and Ethan Slater, but I could not take him seriously the entire movie. Every time he showed up, it was truly like, I can't unsee everything that happened around.
We know too much.
Yeah.
We know too much. Because I think at face value, he's like, oh, he's playing like a dork, like very dorky, like loser energy. But I also think because we don't get Act 2, it's like, oh, we're just stuck in like, oh, he's kind of a wet blanket. He's a drab.
I prefer when I am watching my box and I can tell that they are gay men. Okay?
Say that.
Shoot me.
That.
Shoot me.
Maybe that's it.
I think that's it.
Too. And in contrast,
Fierro is bisexual.
Bisexual.
Maybe pan.
Maybe pan.
And it was great. I was like, wow, Fierro, this should be
right,
how
Casey,
Fierro.
right?
Yes.
You felt this way? I felt this way. When he grabbed that man's hair, I was like,
oh my God.
What's happening?
It's just it is so fascinating to watch. And then you're also watching it and you're like, well, you were the only 2 straight people on
the whole set. Because I just found out Nessa Rose is also.
She's a gay.
I didn't know either.
She's gay.
She's in the commune.
Yes.
Got her.
Hook 'em. Yeah. I really
Ethan Slater and John M. Chu were the only straight straight men on that set, which is crazy.
We're not even counting Jeff Goldblum because
he's an enigma.
He's transcendent.
Yeah. I really like seeing the parts where people are like, they let them breathe for a moment. And so like there's an Ariana like pop riff and Popular where it's like, oh, they let Ariana breathe for a little bit to like go back.
Oh,
But then there's one going around with Ethan Slater about SpongeBob. They're like, they let him breathe for a little bit. And when you go back and you listen to Because You Are So, listen to him sing Beautiful, because that is SpongeBob.
Robert.
Robert Sponge.
Because you
Robert
are
Thomas
Sponge.
Sponge.
so beautiful.
It's
Oh,
like the
I think you're wonderful.
the vibrato in Beautiful is so triggering because it's so SpongeBob. And then I did have to remind Jace after, because Jace was like, how do I know this man? I was like, we saw him.
Sponge.
We saw him
fucking
as
Bob.
SpongeBob.
The
So
SpongeBob.
Robert Deponge.
it's very funny. But we listen
Casey,
and we don't
Casey,
judge.
we listen
and
we
don't
don't
judge. You know, folks,
She's got nothing.
y'all, you listen and you don't judge. I felt like we needed more from Madame Morrible. Like I was
interesting.
like,
I've seen this is actually a very popular take. I've seen this a lot.
I was just like, she's here. You got her. Like, I don't really, I'm not getting, I didn't feel like she was fully developed, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like,
But is
everyone is at a 15 out of 10, and she is Michelle Yeoh being Michelle Yeoh at like a solid 8.5, which is like great, but it's just, it feels different in comparison to like everybody else acting on screen.
Yeah, it's like, did she get better in the second movie because she's won her Oscar by then? Have you seen the video
Yes,
going around where
the
like
video where she comes in with the Oscar?
Yeah. Yeah. I was, I was a little just underwhelmed by the performance. Like, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of as far as like takes that we haven't already said.
But then I like also had to wonder, I was like, is it just like this relationship that they built from Crazy Rich Asians that John was like, we need her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what was don't get me wrong, I love her to death, but what was the need for Michelle Yeoh? Like, what was his need for her as Madame Morrible when I'm trying to think of who else I would even want.
Because I think it was revealed that Cheryl Lee Ralph did audition for Morrible. Because she played her on Broadway.
Right.
Famously.
Or what's his name? Pray tell.
James Corden?
Who? Pray tell from Pose. What's his name?
Oh, Billy
Porter.
Billy Porter.
Interesting.
There's a
we saw Jeff Bezos' Cinderella.
Yeah.
We've seen Billy Porter in a
gown. Yeah.
I understand that take. I think I liked that she felt, because she like feels the most villainous, especially in Act 2.
Yes. Yeah.
She's like establishment. She's like she's supposed to be the one that's like, this is the law, these are the rules, and we're just, but like bending the law to favor whatever.
And don't forget, she can control the weather.
Oh yeah, Casey, that's a spoiler.
Oh, yes,
that's not a
yes.
Or what do everybody on TikTok calls it? An Easter egg. It's not foreshadowing. It's not.
Oh God.
They're
what have we
everything an Easter egg.
So I don't know. Joe Biden should have. We should have gotten.
We
should have
banned
eggs. I'm with
eggs.
Joe.
I think we really
still
should
time.
have banned eggs.
We should have banned Easter.
Oh yeah. No, Easter's going to become a national holiday pretty soon, along with the Bible.
The born of the Jesus. The born of the Jesus.
The born of
Jesus.
I really liked the shot. To go back to Michelle Yeoh, there's the shot where she like tells the monkeys to go find her, and she turns around and they're flying in slow motion behind her.
Okay,
and
that's like,
I clutched the armrests. I was like, ah! She's so scary.
So scary.
But in the show, in the musical, and they're doing things different, obviously. But in the musical, one of the things they do to Morrible that I think is always really funny every time I see it is she has a receding hairline for as the more evil she gets, the further back her hairline gets. So by the last time, her hairline literally starts like in the middle of her head.
I've
It's
never
so
noticed
funny.
that.
I'm curious if they're gonna. There's no way.
There's
Yeah,
no
we
way
should
they're
know
gonna
I'm-
make
her.
Michelle Yeoh bald.
Bald Michelle Yeoh.
Absolutely not.
Did the other take people have that I saw is they're mad that Glinda only wears pink.
I did see that today.
I saw that one because she wears other colors in the show,
Mhm.
famously.
Rather color.
Yellows and blues.
Blue,
Well,
white.
the one that I'm mad is that people calling Glinda the villain. I'm like, no, bitch, the villain is the villain.
The villain.
The villain
is
is-
the villain.
the villain is the villain, and his name is the Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. RJ, do
It
we
is.
have-
It is funny. It is funny that like Glinda is a villain thing simply because the whole point of the exercise is to be like, what if the people you think are villains aren't actually villains? What if it's actually way more complicated than that?
right.
So for
Yeah.
your takeaway to then be like, actually there is a villain and it's just the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It just proves their point. Everybody just needs a common villain. Everybody needs
Common enemy.
a common
Yep.
enemy. RJ, we listen and we don't judge.
I don't really have any we don't judge takes anymore, so I'll just talk about what I was like my pearl clutching moments. It was I mean, Adam and I talk about the last 20 minutes of the movie because the fact that we were able to see Elphaba actually make the discoveries in real time.
my
I
and,
want to
like,
say
slow
Cynthia
down every
Erivo
single time.
should win an Oscar for this role.
because even
I
just-
was
just
could-
the way
ugh,
that she
ugh.
was like realizing that he can't read the Grimmery, making the decision of like going back and starting reading it again. Like it's
And like also
crazy.
to Ariana, like I then seeing it the second time, I'm like also watching other things.
Mhm.
When Cynthia flips her coat during
Ugh.
Defying Gravity, you
Oh,
look at Ariana, who is standing there literally sobbing.
Sobbing.
yeah.
And I was like also sobbing. So we were just like in it together.
Yeah.
But like the beats that they have created with these characters is
Oh yeah.
mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
so incredible how they like I just sent into the group chat. I don't think nobody responded to me. It's fine. There was a moment when she's giving Fiero the tour and then they get into the library and she forgets what
The
it's
library,
called.
yeah. The book
The
place.
book
Mhm.
place. And then you go to One Short Day when Elphaba goes, libraries. The look on Glinda's face when she says libraries, being like, that's the word I was looking
That's the
for.
word. Oh, that's what it is.
Oh my God. Like, it's just like moments like that throughout the entire, it's all so smart and every beat is so thought
Mhm.
through. It's incredible. I just couldn't get over it.
And I also love all of the sets, and I'm glad that John Chu was like, we're building,
building
everything.
Production
now.
design.
Yes.
We're building it.
Building.
And you know what? We listen and we don't judge. Dr. Dillerman,
8.
8. She ate
Eight.
it up, babe. And you know what? She is the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time, honey.
Mhm.
I really
And-
liked how they made that scene less
They
fast
fixed it.
forward. They fixed it.
Yeah.
We still fast forward on the soundtrack, but like they fixed the scene. It makes sense in the film.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and it also feels very scary. Like
Yeah.
it's way
Yeah,
scarier
totally.
him like sharing this secret meeting with these other animals.
Uh-huh.
Like it really, the stakes feel so
Yes.
high in
Yeah,
this film.
like all of the like
And
little like missing things, and they've been tracking it. I'm like,
It's
oh,
so crazy that it came out in 2024 and feels like it's more timely than ever. Like it's so scary.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Crazy.
I need to say, because if I don't, I'm gonna kill myself.
No, wow.
Cynthia Erivo does such an incredible job in this movie, and I feel like there's a lot of conversation about Ariana Grande on social media and with like the general populace, because I think in their head a
They
lot of
didn't
people don't
believe
know
it.
that she has had the career that she
chops.
has.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they are just generally surprised that she is able to do this and do it really successfully.
Mhm.
And Cynthia, I think, kind of gets left in the shadow because there's no
They know,
expectations, so they
yes.
just like
They know
it's
she's going to be
whatever.
great no matter what.
She is so good in this movie. her anytime like when she cries, she starts crying during
The dance.
during in the Ozdas ballroom, it is like heartbreaking. Her Wizard and I is incredible.
That is my favorite song on the whole show.
I was gonna ask everybody's favorite song.
That
she
really
has
is
such heart that I feel like I've always, whenever I see the show, and I've seen it a few times, whenever I see it, because the show is so fast paced. When I saw Anna Gasteyer, and I'm sorry, the show moves so fast that it's hard to feel those beats, and I do appreciate that about this film. And I really felt like because it slowed down, I felt like I could feel every decision Cynthia made, and it just felt like she was really an Elphaba that wore her heart on her sleeve and was so good in the role. And that last like 15 minutes where you start with her being like totally enamored with the wizard, fully like revering him, basically like the way she's like looking at him and laughing at his jokes and like just obsessed, and then like the in time realization that he's an absolute fucking fraud, and the disappointment and anger and like it's so good. She's so good in this movie.
I'm not even gonna say listen and don't judge. Cynthia is the best actor to have ever played Elphaba.
Period.
Not
periodity.
And like musical theater, whatever aside, she is the best actor to have played Elphaba. Like she is the only one that of the rep that's out there that I feel like could show those beats the way if you put any of them in a film, they couldn't have shown the beats like Cynthia does.
Until Meryl Streep plays Elphaba.
Right.
Prove us wrong.
Prove us.
Once Meryl plays it.
Put them in film. Yeah, no, I agree. Favorite.
And you know what? I like Jeff Goldblum.
He was doing Jeff Goldblum.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's Jeff Goldblum.
Absolutely.
But of all, I was like trying to think of like who else, because there are other people I guess I would put in this, but like I feel like the wizard is so he's from not from their world. Yeah. So I was smart to make a Jeff Goldblum who already feels like he's an alien on our planet.
Yeah.
But did you see the thing that people pointed out where when they flash back to him reading the Grimoire, it's actually him just saying Omaha really slowly, which is where he's from.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Ray Gun, that like kitschy like tagline store. They made the Omaha shirts and then are selling them in their Omaha Ray Gun store.
Oh, funny.
Clever.
Do you feel seen as a Midwestern girly?
Yeah. Call
the
out.
Wizard representation.
Thank you. Favorite song in the film, Casey?
I'm a Dancing Through Life girly.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about Jonathan Bailey.
Oh, yeah. Truly ever since I watched Wicked in 2005, that was always the song, like, because I had the CD soundtrack, and that was always the song that I remember going back to. Like, when I listen to the new version, I think in my head to like listening to the album as a a young child, but
2005, I mean you were
just born.
An infant. You were baby Nessa.
So Dancing Through Life has always been my favorite, and so now like that's the one that I go to if you want, just have a good time. But then I did go to the bathroom during Dancing Through Life the first time, because it is so long. Because it's like
10 minutes long. It's as long as Step in Time and Mary Poppins.
Well, because they start off with the Dancing Through Life and whatever, but then we moved to the Ozdas ballroom and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I went to the I now I know what I missed when I went to the bathroom the first time since I saw it again. I missed when I started going to the bathroom when Madame Morrible comes in. I was walking down.
So did you miss
I see.
the Ari Cynthia dance moment? You
No.
did the first time?
I didn't
Oh.
miss that. I just missed her like saying, like talking
Getting her
to
wand.
Giving
putting
her,
the
yeah, she's
wand.
like, well,
Here.
she likes, so
Here's
here's the
the
fucking wand, and
wand.
I'll take.
The
You're not
tuning
gonna
wand.
do well.
Here's my
so-
problem with that is like, okay, so when they did switch to, instead of Fiyero being like, what's the most sanctified place here in town? Like him then telling them, which made more sense because it's like, he's the baddie. He knows of this
He
illegal place
knows.
that we're
He
going to go
knows
off.
the
Yeah.
curbs.
But then it's like, wouldn't Madame Morrible like go and be like, y'all get your asses back to
That's
shiz. What are you all doing here?
That's what
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna do.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I thought
whenever I was
She was
watching
just trying to get
it.
info on that animal band.
Yeah. And then it's like,
Yeah.
because it almost like made it seem like when Elphaba goes to her dormitory at night to be like,
to tattle on
to
them.
tattle on them, to be
That's
like,
what I
you gotta
thought.
get out there. They're partying with the illegal bar. Like, that's what I thought was happening.
Mm-hmm. And also, just another thing. These people are so shocked at a green woman when they're like dancing next to these animals and shit, like all these crazy animals and stuff. But they see one green woman and they're like, in her ugly hat,
You're green.
In her ugly hat.
in her ugly ass hat.
Her hideous hat.
Yeah.
Favorite song, Adam?
I would like to mourn for a moment a couple of the lines that were cut
Oh.
from Act 1 that are my
Well,
favorite.
we should hold
Oh,
space. For
let's
We need to hold space for these lines.
Space for these lines.
One of my favorite lines is in the beginning during No One Mourns the Wicked, when she's saying that there's been a lot of rumors and speculation about what happened. She says, innuendo, out uendo. They got rid of that. And they also got rid of, I understand why they got rid of it. It's too on the nose for what they were trying to do with this movie. But when Nessa asks Spock what's in the punch, he says lemons and melons and pears. Oh my. That's another one that they got
That's
rid
very
of.
Broadway.
That I like. That's very Broadway.
Yeah.
Gets a huge laugh in the theater.
Always a laugh.
Nessa.
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 Miranda, favorite song?
Alternate. I think in the film it was Wizard and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Defying Gravity is what moved me the most, obviously. But that was just like,
Held
but also like
space
Defying
for it.
Gravity is so spaced out. In the
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like one.
It doesn't feel like
punch.
one whole song, so that's why
Yeah.
I select Wizard and I.
The way her cape gets longer is so funny.
Yeah.
I don't even care that it's technically a mistake. I think it's hilarious. I'm obsessed with it.
I wonder what happened.
it's magic.
What happened to the capes? I need to know what
But it's
happened. on set.
magic.
It's magic.
But maybe it's really magic. Who knows?
But
Yeah,
also-
it's Wizard and I for me as well.
But
It's
also,
Wizard and I for you.
what is this? The way they shot, what is this feeling?
Oh my god!
I was like,
so
These women are
Broadway is back.
these women are
baby.
lesbians. They're in love with each other. That's why you hate each other.
That's
Because
why
you're
you hate each
absolutely
other.
in love with each other. Like, hello,
Yes, yeah.
There's
your
that point
face
in
is flushing.
Popular when they lay
Yeah.
down next to each other and they look at each other, and I was like, oh,
Oh, this is how y'all do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
this is Glinda's experiencing compulsive heterosexuality is what Glinda's experiencing. Okay, so then if you said Wizard and I to RJ, I will say I thought No One Mourns the Wicked was perfect.
Perfect.
I thought it was perfect. I thought the way they incorporated the flashback was good. I liked
Mhm.
I liked that it was basically the prologue of the film and that the title card came up afterward and then
Yes.
started the
Yeah.
title
Totally.
sequence. I liked that they used the overture to go into it. I liked that I like how somber Ariana looks and how scared she is of
Yeah.
everything. Like
Yeah.
she's so disgusted by like first the poster and then
And
the
the
like huge
giant
effigy.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like she cuz like in the show, because now I've gone, obviously there's been so many clips being shared currently of like
Yeah.
every Broadway fucking production ever
Right.
and every Galinda on Earth. And it is interesting to go back because in the Broadway version, they really play it more that you don't know Glinda's feelings, and then when she repeats it at the end of the show, then you see her kind of like be really crestfallen and somber. And so it's interesting to start off the movie it's very clear
Already
that she
showing.
is like,
Oh, this is weird.
this is not good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think she did like a really good job with that. And I really liked the joke of when she tried to talk to her in the bubble, and she was like, "Sorry, I can't. Sorry, hold
So
on."
good.
Second.
And I
And when
like
she
that
goes-
the
and then-
bubble.
Oh, and I just love how she said "what" afterward, not like "what."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I like
Is it true that you were her friend?
What?
that was a very MT. That was a very
Yeah,
musical
that
theater
diva,
girl.
that
Oh.
diva,
That
Ball
munchkin.
State University, honey,
Yeah.
MFA. Is it true that you were her friend?
I liked too that the bubble is like mechanical. It's not
It's
magical.
a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
she steps on it to start it. It's
Uh-huh.
so it goes back to the thing that she has
No
no powers
powers.
whatsoever. Her powers, her voice, her
Yes,
look,
her look.
her pretty face.
So as we go into as we are in intermission for the next year, what are we going to hold space?
Are we seeing it
for?
all together next year, part 2?
Do we think they'll release it early?
No.
No,
You don't think
they're gonna
so?
hold out.
There's no
No.
way.
Nope.
Oh,
No?
free trick. You're there.
oh, baby.
Goodness,
Good.
no!
Good news.
There she is.
If they did it,
Oh my God.
if they did it,
Baby.
That's right, Freed.
if they did it any earlier, I would say maybe like October. But then what's the point?
What's the
Yeah.
point?
I don't think they're gonna do it because they have to time it for award season.
And they are going to re-release it in theaters to
Yeah,
get you back.
they
into
will.
it.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, they're gonna like
They're gonna do the
put
sing-along,
part 1
right?
back out in
But
like
they're
September.
going to re-release.
Great.
It. Yeah, like right.
Then I do
So-
think we try and make plans.
A trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll all come to
Chives.
Austin.
You guys can come to Chives with my
I am
theater-
not seeing Wicked Part 2 in Chives.
Why? I have a better theater than all you motherfuckers.
Why don't we all
Your
go to
seat
Kansas?
never works.
My
Why don't we all
Your
meet in the
seat-
middle?
Your heater never
My-
worked.
I don't know
Miranda.
how. Okay, you guys, I have seen this movie twice in different theaters in the same theater, and my seat heater has not worked at either of them. But the people all my people I've gone to see it with, all of theirs work. So,
You're not selling us on Chives, Diva.
girl, first of all, also the movie theaters were not playing it at the right volume.
Oh.
You're still not
No,
selling it on
yeah.
John
us
M.
coming
Chu
to Chives.
says none of the theaters that I have been to, like none of the theaters that anybody has
Oh.
gone to they're
Oh,
like
he
they
said you have to play it at a 7.
yeah, 7.
Yeah.
So
What were people playing it on?
I don't know.
Max. What's in between all three of us? Is it Kansas?
It's Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka, Kansas.
We all gotta go.
Topeka,
Or are we
Kansas?
going-
No, it's like St. Louis, Missouri, or something, or like
We could go.
Branson,
We could take
Missouri.
Aretha.
we can go to Branson.
We gotta go to Branson.
We'll see.
I go to
and then-
Branson.
Oh,
I'm gonna
sure
look it up.
the-
You know, Branson's gonna be the
There is
hottest
there is
destination
an-
for the next 4 years.
There is an Alamo in Springfield, Missouri.
Missouri.
That's where Jane goes to shop.
She
Jane
shops so
loves
she
to shop in
drops.
Springfield. Yeah. We'll definitely have to. Oh,
I think it is like it's
Joplin,
Joplin.
Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri.
all I
hell
know is that's
no.
where that big.
Springfield, Missouri is actually pretty central.
Pretty central.
Okay,
to
then
the
if
three
that's
of us.
then we could go to Camdenton, Missouri, and visit my grandma.
We're not
How's
going
that?
to Missouri.
Casey's not allowed in Missouri.
No.
They have a hit on
Did
her.
you know?
She's not allowed.
Yeah,
It's not just
I've got
Austin
warrants.
She's got
Warren's
warrants
out, babe.
It's shocking how far I have to zoom in on the map of the country to find for Austin to show up.
Yeah,
I
because
just
it
wanna
shows
point
up
that out.
Dallas,
That's
Houston.
that's definitely that's a what
And I'm using Apple Maps
We're
to be
using
clear for
Apple.
everyone
everyone.
And
for
we're
everyone
using
listening. And I have a couple notes that I would like to say about Apple Maps in regards to my trip to New York.
Well, we're
Oh.
there
Well,
now.
we're there.
It's now.
No. I had a very mine is about pizza. We have to start.
No, I know, but we're in our
Oh,
little New
not-
York mini moment.
Not the
Oh.
USPS.
If there's
Oh,
any.
because us and Miranda are doing specific Broadway stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yes, our
get me
Close
out
Friends
of it.
episode will be a big recap of Adam and RJ's adventure to New York this weekend.
Yes, our New York minute, our literal New York minute, because we
In
saw
a New York minute.
7 shows in 3 days.
Yep.
But overall, New York, cold.
We haven't been back since 2018.
Yeah.
And
That
have
was
you
our
ever
last time
been
we were there.
at Christmas time?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Yes, I have. I've seen the tree.
Okay.
I've never seen the
It's not
tree.
up, I don't think,
tree.
right?
We didn't even see the. We didn't
I don't
we didn't
think
have time to see the tree.
She's not up yet. Well, you
Oh,
would-
she's not up yet.
I'm surprised you. I mean, if she was up, you could have literally just walked by her on the way to one of the theaters.
Well, it's so far. It's like 54th.
Oh my
Not
god.
too far. I guess
It's
I don't even know
too
where you
far.
When I
stayed.
when I went to
We
see
stayed in Queens.
We were in Queens, honey. We
two
took the E
queens,
train.
two queens and
Two
queens.
queens stand before
To
me.
Queens and Queens.
When I
we
when
had the
I
biggest room I've ever been in.
went in New York.
Yes.
I was worried
Huge.
about you.
When I was there in 2019, I got off in at Rockefeller Center so I could go to the I went
FAO Schwartz.
the FAA Schwartz there. Is
Yeah,
there an FAA
mhm.
Schwartz there?
Yes.
Before I went and
I
I
saw
thought it was at Central Park.
No, it's
Adam
at,
said it was
it's
at Central Park
it's
because
at
I said I
Rockefeller.
wanted to go to FAO Schwartz, and he said it's not there anymore.
It's at Rockefeller.
You
And at
thought it was. You
Rockefeller.
were thinking of the Toys R Us with the
Oh.
Ferris wheel in Times Square. girl.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to see
Jeffrey the
that.
damn giraffe.
It's where they have now the Jellycat Cafe.
I want to go to the Jellycat Cafe.
I know.
I want to go to the
That's
fair.
Casey's now
Yeah.
on American Girls, but after that, she will transition to Jellycats. Look at the
They're right
girls.
here.
Is there an American Girl Cafe in New York?
Yes,
There's
there
not,
is.
right?
Yes, there is.
There
I walked
Where is
right
it at?
past it. It's on, I'm going to say,
Is it around Times Square?
yes, it's
Oh.
just like 2 blocks north of Rockefeller. I think it's
Oh,
on,
okay.
I want to say 56.
Who are these?
Look at these
Casey.
queens. We've got
3
Courtney.
queens stand before me.
3 queens
Uh-huh.
stand for me. Courtney is from 1986, historical icon.
So you
Yeah.
did get her.
I did get
Courtney, Chloe.
Courtney.
Next one's Chloe.
This is
Uh-huh.
Samantha from 1904. This bitch is 100 years old.
This
I
bitch.
cannot
She's
believe you have
120.
Samantha.
Samantha's from New York, isn't she? Isn't she
Yes.
the one from New York?
Cannot believe
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
120.
Samantha.
And then
And
Miss
Nikki.
Nikki,
Yes.
who I was
From 1999.
1999, my girl. So yeah, and like
Nikki.
y'all.
Do you have her inflatable furniture?
No, that's too expensive for me. I just
Did
bought.
you get
I'd rather
She's
buy another
holding
doll.
the American
She
Girl
said,
dolls. That's
no, it's too
I don't.
expensive.
I don't have any money.
I have no money.
Did you get her pizza party?
Yep, I got her pizza party. And y'all, when I got these dolls, I was like, okay, I shouldn't have bought 3. It's like in
Because
Bridesmaids.
you scammed Joe for the.
I scammed Joe for Samantha.
Scammers don't ever stop scamming.
No.
Never forget.
Never forget.
But it's like in Bridesmaids. It's like I took 9. But when I unboxed them, I was thinking like I'm gonna unbox these and be like, why the fuck did I get these? But when I unboxed them and I held one in my arms, I
Did
was
your
like,
inner child heal?
yes, I
It
was like,
healed?
this
Oh.
feels right. Like just like it made me so happy. I was like, this just feels right.
child could do the same thing.
Yes, having
A
being
literal
mother
human
could also-
child.
Yeah.
I
This is
am a
the
mother.
stepping stone. Let her have this first step.
Yeah.
Make sure she
Uh-huh.
lives.
That up.
We've got
Yeah.
It's not just
Uh-huh.
a phase. Motherhood is not a
Yeah.
phase. Let her live
It's-
in this.
Yes, it's not a trend like Squishmallows. You got to keep that one
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
You can't sell that one on eBay. But anyways, these are the girls and they're
I can't auction her off on my little app.
on Whatnot.
Whatnot.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about New York.
New York.
Nueva York.
Yeah. Casey and I were just holding down the forts in our regular home places, but it was Black Friday while you guys were.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Casey, what time did you wake up on Black Friday?
I woke up at 6:45.
You went?
She went out.
I've
Did you
been
go to like Five Below? Like where? God, Casey,
God,
where did
Casey,
you go?
God,
What?
you're disgusting.
Ew.
You
Sicko.
disgusting pig.
So a lot of the girls were waking up. A lot of the girls were waking up really early to hit up Target, which opened at 6 a.m. because of a Taylor Swift drop. There was like an Eras Tour book.
Well, but then was seeing on afterwards. They're like, oh, people,
They're still
have
here,
it. Like
right.
no one. Yeah, they're still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
They
but
restocked
again,
online like a day later.
yeah, but anyway, so that's what like a big, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I wish like we had something like that, like to
a
get us up.
release or something.
So Casey was up, and I like completely forgot. And she got up at 6:45.
6:45 for
Wow.
Record Store Day, Part 2.
Again?
Fully adieu. Yeah.
Fully adieu.
April, they do it in April, and then they do one for Black Friday. So we had a Noah Khan release that I needed. That was like he hadn't released on vinyl all all of. That's how I feel during the Broadway minute.
Oh God.
Popular secular music.
Secular bitch.
But yeah, they had a Noah Khan release. They had an Olivia Rodrigo. They had a Casey Musgraves. And so those were the big three for me. And so we did what we usually do, or what I was like, hey, let's go to my little place in San Marcos. It's about 25 minutes away, but there's usually not a lot of people there. They were opening at 9. So we get in the car at 7. We get there about 7:25. There is one man and his son there, and that's it. And so then
And then you.
and then us. But then Joe was like, I gotta poop. So I'm like, oh my God, okay. So we had to drive around and find a suitable restroom for him, because we go into this gas station and there wasn't one. So then we pull into the tiniest HEB I've ever seen. The tiniest HEB. I said, they'll have one. And so we go into the HEB, and there is like a single a single bathroom, and it was very weird because there was just a random man sitting outside the bathroom. Mind you, it is 7:30 in the morning. There's this random man just sitting outside the bathroom, and Joe's like, and he goes in, and I'm just over there smelling candles because it's right by the bathroom. And then I watch other people come up to try and use the bathroom, and then they're all standing in line waiting for Joe to finish in this bathroom. And it was very funny because then we just scooted right out of there and left everything in our wake.
Ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we stood in line.
Oof.
They let us in at 9. By the time it was time to open, there was probably like 12 people there. It was a very small crowd. And the guy was like, okay, all this stuff's over here. And for the last time we went, like, he had pretty much everything, blah, blah, blah. This time, the people in front of us are looking, and the kid with the dad goes, oh, did you get Noah Khan? And he goes, no, I didn't get it. And then he goes, I actually didn't get a lot because they didn't let us order our stuff until like 3 weeks ago, because the business changed hands. So it was new owners. And so Record Store Day says like, hey, you're not an established business. You've got to go through the sign up process again. And then they had to go through all this stuff to get, so they got like the leftovers. And so I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They couldn't have said this on Instagram, like, hey, we don't have a lot, or like, here's what we have.
Is Noah Khan a person?
Yes, he's
Or
from
a band.
He's from
It's a band.
It's his name. He's from Vermont.
Joe!
But so yeah, so I get the Casey Musgraves there, but then I look at Joe and I say, we're gonna have to go to End of an Ear. They open it at 11. So we drove back 25 minutes, and immediately got in line again.
So here's the thing. So Casey's talking in our another group chat. And Jill is also in this group chat because she was trying to hunt down some records. And I'm just sitting here on my couch being like, well, I feel left out.
I want to go.
I
want
have
it.
nothing.
This is the Wicked Cups all over again.
Yes.
all
And
over
then so
again.
Casey goes, well, I couldn't get Noah. And I go, I'll get dressed and I'll go
get
to
it.
my record store and I'll get
do it.
Noah Con.
I said
for
there's
you."
probably a million.
And babe, yes, there fucking was. I get down there and it's record store day, like nationwide, is one per person. I did have Jace with me, and this man actually also really does love Noah Khan. So he got one for himself, and then I bought one, but we had to buy it like separate credit card, separate phone number, separate
Miranda's
email.
holding space, I see.
Miranda's holding space for Noah Khan.
Okay,
Oh,
there
she's
you go.
back.
You're
She's
back.
Oh.
She's back.
Okay. Am I here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made my way. So Jace wanted one for himself.
Okay.
Oh, he's a white man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, like the big music festival in Iowa, it was Chapel and then Noah headlining. Like that's how big on the same night. Like that's how the festivals. It's always like Noah and.
All y'all are worried about this chapel lady. I'm worried about church. And I'm worried about the souls in it. Okay?
Hey, Grandma. Anyway, it was very
Grandma had
exciting.
a great trip.
I got to go.
Grandma loved LaGuardia.
Oh my
LaGuardia.
God.
I
RJ
love
would not shut
LaGuardia.
up about LaGuardia. I was like, yeah, babe.
LaGuardia is gorgeous.
Where do you
gorgeous.
typically fly
LaGuardia.
in? Or I guess
Huh?
it's
They
just
haven't been
a
there since
while.
2018.
We
Okay.
haven't been there since
Okay,
2018.
okay,
The last
okay.
time we flew in, I was like, I remember a small rinky-dink
Yeah.
airport with like plastic glass panels on the ceiling, and he was like, "That was LaGuardia," and I was like, "No,
No.
I had to
that's
literally
her.
pull up
I'm not
the
that
original
girl.
terminal,
no,"
which is now the Spirit Airlines terminal.
Yeah.
Is the only terminal that flies in and out of there. And I was like, "See, do you remember this?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah."
Man. But yeah, so it's very
LaGuardia.
exciting. And then
Mhm. And then yeah, Miranda got 2 copies. So she got one
I
for
got-
Jill, and then I was in line, and then they let us in, and they had plenty of everything. And I said I should have just went here first the first time instead of driving out to BFE. But it was
It's
a
a
fun day.
thrill.
There was some little
It's a thrill.
Swifties in front of me. Every time a girl would come out with a Noah Khan record, the girl in front of me would get these big eyes and look at her friend and be like stressed out because
There's
they're
one.
yeah, because they were only letting in like a couple people at a time to start. And then if someone came out and you couldn't see what they got, the girl would be like, "That looks like a Noah Khan girl," because they'd have like a beanie or
Well,
they'd just be, just you could see in the line who were the Noah Khan girlies,
For sure. Yeah.
So it was very
I don't
funny.
think my record store man looked at me and was like, that's a Noah Khan girly. Oh, wow.
Some of us do American Girl. Some of us get a big old duck.
A big old fucking plush.
Well, how did you bring that home?
I had enough. I had packed with enough room that I knew I could get one big
Wow,
plush.
that's incredible. Happy
Yeah.
for you.
And you know what? Packing cubes. You guys heard of packing cubes and TSA pre-check? Have you guys heard of it? Miranda, can you tell us about, I don't know, your advent calendars?
I was just saying, no, I have a close friends advent calendar that I will be starting next week.
Yeah, I was like,
does
when
that
are we getting
mean?
that?
Well, because it's only
You're
12
giving it
days.
to us?
No, I'm doing one on close friends specifically.
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
I thought you were
to
saying you were
close
going to give
friends.
it to us, your actual close friends.
No, we
No.
get to watch it.
You get to watch
Oh, goody.
the content that keeps on giving. So
Mhm.
we have a popcorn seasoning advent calendar that will begin on December 13th. So stay tuned on Close Friends Stories for that. That's
So
all.
Miranda, you fly into Galveston, or where do you fly into?
I fly into Houston, one of the Houston airports.
Okay.
And
on
yes,
Thursday Eve.
So my mom was asking about what time do we need to get to the airport last week. And I was like, oh, like we're sharing one checked bag and then we'll all have like our own little carry-ons. And I was like, oh, probably like 3 for like our 4:15 flight. And she goes, oh, that's not early enough. And I go, yeah, it is. And I hear my dad in the background, your mom doesn't have pre-check. I go online. I make this bitch an appointment immediately. So she now has a pre-check. I was like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not playing this game. So she has TSA pre-check. And so
Can you... I'm sure... Should I just do that for Mom for Christmas?
Just do it for your mom.
Oh,
just do it.
Yeah.
I should just do that.
Just take her.
Yeah.
Just sign her up. I'm just curious. I'm assuming it's just any airport now you can probably go get your interview or whatever.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when it first rolled out, it was like only the big cities had it.
Or you'd have to go to some weird little center. Like,
yeah.
Back in the day, I went to some weird little place. But yeah, Joe walked up to the Clear. He walked up to, because they do it at like the Clear.
Oh, the touchpads or whatever.
Clear touchpads. Yeah. And he like said to someone, yeah, I'm here for to do my TSA pre-check sign up. And she's like, you have pre-check? This is Clear. He's like, no, the sign up, I did it online. It said to come here. And she's like, ugh. And she was like so annoyed that she like had to do her job. And she's like, hold on. And she had to like go get someone and do something. He was all, yeah, she was not happy with
Was it like planned? It wasn't like he was like, oh, I'm going to add it on while I'm flying out, or it was like he had to just go to the airport.
Yeah, well, because like we were at the airport and I said, well, hey, we're going to be at the airport going on a flight. Let's just get there a little early and you do it then.
Oh, and just do it.
Because that's how they have it now. And so we got there early and he had pre-signed up online, and then you just like walk up to the Clear station and they like do probably your fingerprints and take your picture or something. Yeah. I don't know because I was like going through. Yeah, I was. And then by the time we were flying back, because it was when we went to Florida, we left on Thursday. By Saturday morning, he got his like, here's your TSA number, your KTN.
Yeah,
your KTN, known traveler.
So then I was able to add it to his ticket, and so coming home, he had pre-check.
Yeah. Love that.
It's great.
I will say, for the simple,
we did not need it this trip.
No, because no one was flying.
That's what my dad like threw a big fit. He's like, well, we don't need it. We fly out of Des Moines. It's a small airport. Blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not taking my fucking shoes off. I am not taking any electronics or anything out of my bag ever. I don't care if the line is longer for standby than pre-check. I will wait in pre-check to not have to take off my shoes. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's also, for me, it's given me a lot of peace of mind because Adam is significantly less anxious with pre-check.
That's great.
I will say.
I will say with your mom, if she's planning on traveling out of the country at all, I know she went somewhere this year. I don't know if she has any other plans in the next however many years.
She wants to go to London.
You should try and
get
her
Phantom on
global.
You should try and get her global entry because you also get pre-check with it.
Just to get it all.
I know that's what we have.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That I think she might have to come to Chicago for.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
We'll make a trip of it.
Sure.
The next time you get that coming.
Yeah. And you get that satisfaction of looking at a camera for 0.25 seconds and be like, welcome back, Adam, from your trip from Asia.
Anything to claim? No.
Anything to claim? No. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Well, shall we go for it?
Let's go.
Shall we go for it? Let's go, Earth.
Oh. I'm going to go first.
Okay. All right, Adam.
And I have a lot on my spirit that I need to get off my chest.
Your Spirit Airlines?
I have one thing, and then RJ reminded me I have a second thing that I need to talk
because
about.
you said this one, you said it in the chat.
That's what I was shocked to see.
Voice memoed, remember? You were like, hey, group
No, that was the pizza.
Yeah, that's what the one I
But there was one that, as we were just talking, I realized that I need to speak about Apple Maps.
Oh, that's not good because you also have to talk about USPS.
Oh,
you said in the group chat, remind me, I'm going to go off about USPS.
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was.
It was when you were picking up my package.
Oh, that was so
right.
long ago.
On the pod, let's not talk about that. Okay, that's
Yeah.
enough.
Nasty.
Dirty talk. Nasty.
Sure, pick up your package.
All right.
Okay, Adam, go off then.
It's more
Anna.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Apple Maps thing because I feel like there could be someone who I don't know knows. Anyway, so when we went to Seoul, we were very spoiled because the Seoul subway system is so
In the future.
incredibly organized and detailed. Every station will have numbered entrances and exits so that when you get directions to a location, it will say, when you exit the station, leave through exit number 4. And that'll be closest to your walk to the blah, blah, blah. So in New York, they have the same idea sometimes where it'll be like, here's the northwest corner, here's the southwest corner, right? Like if it's at a 4-way, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if this is MTA's fault, which is notoriously not great, or if it's the other side of the coin.
Maybe
But
it's the city of New York.
maybe it's somewhere else in the middle. I don't know. But I would like there to be a better understanding of the system to know which exit is actually the smartest way
Yeah.
to exit,
Mm.
the most efficient.
Mhm.
Because now that I've been to Seoul, I was like trusting this
Trust the
inherently. I was trusting the system, and sometimes I shouldn't have trusted the system. I should have trusted my gut, and the gut would have been right, and the system was wrong.
The
So-
gut would have walked 3 less blocks.
Yeah, you need to alphabet
Yeah.
always. Follow your gut.
So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But also, I would like to say MTA really should think about actually numbering, because then the craziest part is in Seoul, you'll walk and then there will just be lines on the ground that will lead you straight to the exit. You just follow the blue line.
the
to the
yellow
second
blue
exit.
line.
Follow the
It's
yellow brick road.
It's
Follow the yellow
incredible.
brick road.
Or the purple brick road.
Or the
Or the
purple,
red
or the
brick
red.
road. Whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just change the
Okay.
color like the wizard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one. That's just a note. That's less a go off and more just a note. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it.
Why don't
Whoever's
you,
out there.
Adam, why don't you submit a report?
Mm.
I might have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Here's the tea about New York. And I think I'm actually going to make people angry with this.
You
take.
might make me angry with this. Go on.
New York purports itself to be a pizza city. Okay? There are so many Italian American immigrants. They created a pizza culture in New York, blah, 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 blah. And maybe at one point it was. I do not believe, in order to be a pizza city, I think on average, every place you go should have adequate to good pizza. You should be able to go to most places and be like, oh yeah, this is good. I have never gone to a pizza place where I've just popped in, right? Not the ones where you like, oh, this is the top 10 greatest pizza, right? That's going to be everywhere, right? I have never gone to a pizza place and been like, this is why New York pizza is so good. They're always just fine to bad, to be honest. So I think we need to revoke the moniker until they learn their lesson, until they feel the pain, because I can walk into most pizza places in Chicago. I'm very serious about this. I can walk into, on average, most pizza places in Chicago and have a good slice of pizza. Now, I am not specifically talking about Chicago deep dish, which is what everyone else outside of Chicago thinks Chicago pizza is. It is not. It is thin crust tavern style, square cut, blah, blah, blah. I can walk into most places in Chicago and have a good slice of pizza, and I feel like every time I go to New York, I'm like, well, this was, bread and cheese with tomato on it. That's how I feel. And I don't care if people roast me to hell for it. But, and to be fair, I am in touristy locations, right? Like, I am not
But
in...
that's the thing. Why can't there be a good pizza place?
But it's pizza. Okay, I'm not asking you to make me a souffle, okay? I'm asking you to make pizza, which is just, if I can go to Blaze in Disney Springs and have
fucking
better
kidding.
pizza
No.
have better pizza.
No.
That's what I'm going to say.
I
That's
just,
my take.
I would like to know, do you have on your Google or Apple Maps, have you pinned where you went? Because I'm dying to know where you went.
I didn't pin, but I could figure it out.
Okay, if you
I
could
can
do that,
remember.
that would be super.
I did have the best smash burger I've ever had in my life on this trip, though.
Okay.
It was great.
All right.
There was no place to sit inside.
No.
So we tried to eat on the UN lawn.
Because Adam just thought,
because I thought you could just eat on the lawn of the UN, and guess what? It's the fucking UN. You can't just go sit on the lawn.
You can't loiter on the
fucking
lawn.
idiot. So we sat outside the Trump Plaza and ate.
I am literally picturing where
stand
you
with
are.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Her performance really changed Adam's
Uh-huh.
whole trajectory.
The whole
Listen,
thing.
eating a hamburger out there. That feels
American.
That's the American way.
That's the American way.
And I also
Presidential,
want to say,
bitch.
this is fully just a recommendation at this point. If you are in New York and you are like, I really want a really nice meal. Like, I want to pay some big dollars for a really nice meal. I highly recommend
Margaritaville at Times
I really
Square.
recommend Margarita. Have you ever been to Olive Garden? Times
I really
Square?
recommend Bar American.
No. I recommend it was called Medusa Mediterranean. It is in the meatpacking district. And I have a friend I know who like helps open new restaurants, and so he was like, "Hey, I have a restaurant I could get you a reservation for if you want to go." Blah blah blah. And it was the best steak I've ever had. RJ had a chicken Milanese the size of two of his heads. The size of this. Our friends Matt and Tommy had great meals. I had a drink that came in a smoking box.
Yes, I shared on Close
Yes,
Friends.
I had
Adam had no idea what
our friend ordered us the entire dessert flight
Oh, that's
to come to our table for free.
Yeah.
Love.
And it was
a butter cake, like a gooey butter cake. Olive
oil cake.
Oh.
And then a lemon curd cheesecake.
Lemon curd cheesecake
Oh.
and homemade sorbets.
Wow.
Just an incredible 10 out of 10 meal. Medusa Mediterranean Meatpacking District. It was amazing. I loved it.
Where by Peloton?
Wow. And you know what? People don't talk about how nice New York is. It's like gorgeous.
People don't talk about the fact that there are so many bike lanes now.
Actually,
yeah. People aren't talking about it. Not talking to me about it.
Yeah, not bringing it up to Adam.
Not bringing it up to me. There's so many bike lanes now. It's crazy. That's it. That's all I had. Thanks. Work on your pizza. I'm not saying there's not good pizza in New York. I'm saying that if you want to be a city that's like, oh, I'm known for pizza,
Yeah,
I should be able to walk into most
Spread the
places.
wealth.
It's like in Austin, you could go anywhere and get a good taco.
No one's talking to you, Marina. Me and Casey and RJ are having a conversation.
No,
big city girlies are talking.
When I
every slice of pizza is going to be exciting for you. You eat corn every day.
Oh my God.
Hey, we grow all of your crops here, motherfuckers. All of your crops are grown here. Say this.
You wouldn't be able to get anywhere without my ethanol, bitch. Okay, that's all I had. Who wants to go next? Well, that's it for our episode this week.
I'll go because I can round out the New York minute. Okay.
Before we do the New York
the official New York minute. Okay, my New York minute.
RJ, this is your time.
If your children don't want to go see a Broadway show, don't take them to a Broadway show. I understand some parents are like, I want to like culture my children. I don't want them to just play Fortnite every night. I don't want them to just be doing TikTok challenges. I understand that. But it's a lot of money, and their piss ass attitude can sometimes make other people around them.
I know he's talking about teens.
I'm talking about
not
teens,
actual
not
children.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking about like teenage energy.
17-year-old boys at Old Mary.
At Oh Mary.
That's homophobic. That's homophobic.
It's truly like
I felt like I was watching them turn right wing in real time.
They were becoming MAGA teens at every dick joke
Yeah.
that was being hurled at us at Oh Mary.
Yeah.
And you know what's even worse? The mom fully nagging, being like, hey, pay attention. Stop that. Cut it out. I was like, Diva, I am trying to enjoy Cola Scola, give the performance of a lifetime.
Mhm.
Okay? Trying to.
And they do.
And they do. Okay? And so I think I'm just at the point now of like, if your kids don't want to do something, just don't force them. Just find another way, but don't. And it's these Long Island families
These
because
Staten
they're like,
Island
we
families.
gotta go to the theater. You know, you can take them to stuff.
Go
I don't
see
know,
the
do somewhere.
Outsiders.
Yeah.
Go see that.
Outsiders
That's
Go see
perfect
that.
for
Perfect for
them.
that demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go see
Out-
Wicked.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was
Sure.
just because it was like everyone was having a good time except for these two teenagers. Because even I think their sister was actually enjoying the show, but like they were just so annoyed that I'm like, then just wait
Also,
outside.
I have a
Yeah.
very loud laugh, and they kept turning around to glare at me for laughing, which was also very
I'm like,
annoying.
girl,
Oh.
look around. Everyone here is laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the older woman that wasn't into the show when we first started was into it by the time.
By the time.
By the
By the
time.
time.
So
I have so many damn fuzzies on me from that scarf
Miranda,
I had
Casey?
on today.
Okay, I'll do mine. All right. I
All
don't know.
right.
I don't know how this happens every year and they get me. And it's so annoying. When I buy something during the Black Friday sale and then they add 10 to 20% off more for Cyber Monday, which starts on Sunday. So it's just like, oh, so the Black Friday deal was shit. So now you're giving people even more percentage off to buy it whenever I already bought it. It's so annoying. And also, babe, Cyber Monday should not be extended to Tuesday. Like at this point, I'm gonna get an email that's like, "Hey, Cyber Monday deals all week now." It's like that's no longer Cyber Monday. That's just a deal. That's just a sale.
That's
Like,
just the same.
like I like give it up. Like let's change. Like it's no longer special. We know that we've been talking about that forever. Black Friday is no longer special, but the fact that it's just like calling it Cyber Monday all week long and keep extending it and extending it like, hey, if you forgot, you can still get it. It's like just give it to me for free then. You clearly want someone to take this off your hands. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so frustrating, but also hey, it's also the time that I spend the most money on myself ever. I'm like, I'm grabbing this, I'm grabbing this, I'm getting this. I bought so much shit for myself. I did get all my other gifts taken care of, but I got it all for myself. And I got it for 10% less than I should have because if I waited one more day, it would have been 50% off plus an additional 20 instead of 50% off an additional 10. Anyways, that's my deal. That's my deal.
That's your deal.
That's my
See,
deal.
I think the ads are working because my mom was calling me all week, being like, "Can you get this? Because you have Prime. Can you do this too?" And so she has gotten like an outdoor tent, a transformer to take home to the Philippines, a full weighing scale. She sent me more. She's like, buy these Longchamp bags. I'm like, I'm not buying you Longchamp.
On Amazon.
I was like, Mom.
What are they?
Longchamp bag.
They're-
It's a great staple bag. It's
It's
good to have.
it's a nice
Tote.
big hefty bag.
Okay.
Tote, like a nice tote that you
It's like a
A
vinyl
nice
material.
Tita tote.
It's a nice Tita
Yeah.
tote, yes.
Mhm.
But it's all the Titas have knockoffs.
Oh,
Mm.
sure.
But she was like, but it's on Prime.
It's Prime. Yeah.
It's
I did get I told the group chat already, but I'm getting my first base
base.
Base.
vase got a base.
Base got a base.
Pink
And Adam got a queens. Queens.
quince.
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 I
Adam
for
bought
my
a
mother,
quince.
yeah.
for my mother. But anyways.
Then I replace her travel backpack
Oh,
because when she went to, because it doesn't have the sleeve to go through.
yes.
So she kept trying to like
Just
wrap
wrap
her,
it.
and I was
Oh
like,
my
"What are we
God.
do? We live in 2024. We don't have to do this
Yeah.
anymore."
I did do the away Cyber Monday to also get the backpack because I was like, I
Yeah.
want.
That's what my
Mhm.
mom was talking. She came over to like get some stuff and drop off some things to put in the thing. And I was like, "Oh, what other bags are you bringing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm bringing my backpack." And I was like, "Well, you could borrow one of these other bags that like probably has like better storage." And she goes, "But I have to carry it." And I go, "No, you don't." I was like, "It just goes on your suitcase. Like it goes through it." And she was like, "Oh." Like she had never realized that was I was like, "Just take this.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Take
Just
it."
use it.
Man.
Okay, Miranda,
Okay.
round us out.
So it was my birthday last week and we got a nothing bundt cake. And
Oh my God.
we got the
Yeah.
funfetti
Because Jace
kind.
did finally get you something.
Yeah, he got me something and it was a bundt cake that I asked him to buy me. And Jace has never had nothing bundt cake, but we decided to save it from my birthday to Thanksgiving because it was the next day and that was our dessert. Well, with the funfetti cake, they give you like a little confetti popper. So I was like, "Yay, confetti popper!" I popped that motherfucker all over the bundt cake. That confetti is not edible. It's paper. It's paper confetti that was then all over this bundt cake, all over my floor. Not edible. So we then, at the end of this Thanksgiving day, are just picking off all of this confetti so people can eat the cake. And Mama, confetti is still on the ground to this day. Legend has like
She'll
she
she'll
will
never be
never
gone.
be
No.
gone. So I have a bone to pick with nothing
Nothing
but
bundt.
cake. Do not put a confetti popper on the cake if it's not meant to be on the cake. How would I?
Right.
You have it stuck inside of the cake as if I'm supposed to put it
Oh.
on top of the cake.
And it wasn't edible paper.
I put some in my mouth. It's not edible. It
I
is not edible.
tried.
I tried it for the greater good. I was like, this is my cake. This is my doing. Let me see. No, it is not edible. So you guys need to either just not have that or have it separately, not in a stick in the cake.
Oh, shit,
Yeah,
now I
don't
wanna
stick it in the
nothing bundt
cake.
It's truly so good. And even like days later, cold.
Talk about an
It's-
oily cake.
How does it stays
It stays so
Yeah.
moist.
moist?
Because
Mhm.
it has so much vegetable oil in it, girl.
and thank you, Miranda. Okay, thank you,
Thank
Miranda.
you,
for
farmers.
the
Yes, thank you,
vegetable oil.
Iowa.
Thank you from Iowa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. You're
Yeah, that
welcome.
clarified butter and that
Caro
The
bun-
syrup.
soybean oil, the
Mhm.
carrot.
You guys are
oh,
all welcome.
Yeah.
Me and my podunk little town.
Living in Munchkin land.
I'm
over
living in
here.
Munchkin land over here. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go.
our theater seats are cold.
My
Cold seats.
cold.
The
Well,
audio's off.
yeah.
But
Well,
you can bring
divas.
your Stanley in.
Hey, listen, we had people in the
Oh.
group chat from California, Southern California, Los Angeles area, and they bring in their water bottles all the time. So I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
I've never even thought to bring in water because I'm getting a big old sody.
You're getting a big old soda.
Mhm.
Miranda doesn't drink soda.
I'll drink a Diet Coke every now and then.
Unless it's a Diet Mountain Dew, and I'm chugging too, little buddy.
Mountain Dew Zero, bro, rot in my veins.
Okay. All right, that's enough. Don't forget we will be we have close friends, bonus 3 episodes.
We do have close friends.
We do have close friends.
Yeah.
Bonus 3 episodes on patreon.com/DJread the group chat. We've got the Broadway Minute, so we're gonna recap all of the Broadway shows that we
And they
saw
saw
on our
7,
trip.
remember?
And we saw 7.
7.
So gird your loins.
So it's gonna be a 70-minute episode.
God,
probably.
yeah.
It's still not gonna
Oh.
be as long as
It's not going to be as long as Girly Pop Thanksgiving, which is the highest rated episode, I think,
Of all of any podcast
of
ever.
any
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
We beat Joe Rogan,
We beat
Miranda.
him. Wow, can you
there was some
believe?
good comments on
We
that
beat
one, right?
Hawktois.
RJ, didn't people
You did
comment
beat
on
it.
that?
Yes, we did.
People
Oh, we
commented?
did?
Yes.
Mhm.
I've never
Someone
even been on our
said
Patreon.
trigger warning for the sad episode because you guys talk about life expectancy.
Oh, God. You're like, what did we talk about? I don't
And
know.
your grandpa expectancy.
Oh, that's right.
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
And Jessica, well, both Jessica, there are two Jessicas that commented. And Jessica said, I've never watched Wicked, but I've read the book about 20 years ago. The movie was great and didn't feel like it was over 2 hours. Adam, please watch Beetlejuice.
yeah, Adam. Please watch Beetlejuice.
So yeah, so we're having the Broadway Minute. We're doing a gift giving guide in the middle of December for your last minute gifts.
Mhm.
We're pulling Casey out of gift giving. Well, now she's just a gift giving consultant.
Yeah, I'm just
you put the whole list
consulting.
in here.
Yeah, now Casey, because she's a retired gift giver, she's
Uh-huh.
just consulting
For free.
for free.
Wow.
Well, for
Great.
$5
For $5
For
a month.
$5 a
$5.
month.
for $5 this December.
I'll tell you which American
Yeah.
Girl doll is your spirit animal. Which I learned back when I did buttons not to say spirit animal anymore. I'm
Yeah, we
sorry.
can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which American Girl doll
And-
is your soul sister?
Soul sister.
sister.
Hey, soul
Sister.
sister. And
I couldn't
Miranda
remember
will
the next
recap her Jingle Bell Jingle Cruise or whatever
Jingle
it's
Bell,
called.
Jingle
Nice.
Bam Cruise.
Jingle bell, jingle bam, cruise.
What's it called? Maritime
Maritime-
Magic?
Maritime Moore.
Maritime sailing. It's a
Mary
maritime
Tyler
cruise.
Moore.
Mary
Cruise.
Tyler
Maritime
Moore
Moore.
cruise.
But
Uh-huh.
I guess you are Maritime Magic. Maritime on the Magic, right? Are you on the Magic?
Maritime on the I am on the Magic. The OG sister.
Mhm.
Wow.
Flying
Your
in,
OG soul
flying
sister.
into Houston. Are you? What's the
On Broom?
on Broom? Are you staying in Houston? Are you staying?
Yes, I am
closer
staying
to
in Houston.
Galveston.
Houston, I am staying because we don't get until like 10:30 at night on Thursday. And so we're staying in Houston Thursday night, and then I will just Uber to
Uber.
Galveston on Friday morning, and then we're set sail to Mexico.
Amazing.
Great.
And your
Have a
mother said,
I
"Do
recent-
I need my passport?"
And my mother texted me, "Do I need to bring my passport?" And I was like, "Well, we're going to a different country. So yeah, let's bring that." And then she eventually said, "Well, you took a picture of
What
it." so I
happens?
didn't
They
know.
you just don't. They don't let you off if
I mean,
you don't bring it.
They won't let you on the
They
ship.
won't let you
They
on.
don't let you on the ship
They
at
won't
all.
let you on the ship.
Like
You're in international waters, Diva.
you can get away with birth certificate only
An ID and a birth certificate.
for Jamaica or not Jamaica, for Bahamas, but that won't work in Mexico, right?
I don't think it works in Mexico. I'm not entirely sure. When it's a closed loop, that I don't know. I'm not too keen on my Galveston rules. I've never sailed out of there before, so I need to freshen up on those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, when we prepare for the group chat cruise.
The group chat cruise, Truckers Cruise,
Sure.
2020.
Sailing out-
we're
Truckers
getting
Cruise
Adam on a
2025.
cruise ship.
Well,
Okay.
Miranda, I recently saw a show about a very famous cruise. So it's possibly turned me off.
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week on our 100th group chat episode.
Wow.
We have not made any plans, so we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
We're gonna do 100 minutes, and each minute we take a shot.
Power
God.
hour.
All right.
And then we all pass away
End
live
of
on stream.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone, and don't forget to read the group chat.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Instagram at Did You Read the Pod and TikTok at Did You Read the Group Chat. You can also join the group chat on Facebook and the Discord server. Links on the episode details. The best way to support the show is by sharing the podcast to your friends and by leaving ratings and reviews. You can leave a 5-star rating on Spotify and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll read them on the show. Our theme, KK Cruisin' Lo-Fi, is by Closed on Sunday. Find their music on Spotify and YouTube as Closed on Sunday. See you next time, besties, and don't forget to read the group chat.